Are yapping at me.
What's he yapping at you?
You remember Rob Gehring, the guy who was running the traffic exchange I was off and on with when I was living in Wenatchee?
Vaguely.
He just messaged me like the moment that my Skype booted up. I'm like, don't you fucking dare talk to me. I haven't talked to you in several years. He wants somebody online for a marketing thing tonight. It's like, dude, I haven't done that shit in probably 8 years now.
Eh,
If it's working for him and it's working for others, you know what? Hallelujah. Go ahead, make your money. I just can't do it.
I am on the other side of the country, you goofy motherfucker.
Well, I was before. I think he's down around where Fatty is when I met
Ah,
him in Wenatchee.
I see.
But yeah, he's a sweet person. He's a really nice person. It's just I can't get into that anymore.
Well, yeah, before I go off on a tangent about the the local area here in a minute, I get it. I totally get it. And it's like right now, okay, I'm throwing freight for an evil corporation. I'm not going to talk about the evil corporation because I could lose my job if I talk about the evil corporation by name.
Well, let's put it this way: if you say evil corporation, there are so many things that fall into that.
True, but this is a big box style evil corporation. Um,
See above, yeah. There's many of those. I know what you're saying, but there you have to admit there are a lot of those.
yeah, yeah,
That really, even if you did narrow it down,
yeah, and
you
that's
know,
very true. But I'm
you could say that you work for Nestle. Well, how many fucking things does Nestle own?
oh, good lord, yeah. But and this is something I've been thinking about. I'm getting old. I'm really beat up. And even with me losing weight, like I've lost like 15 pounds in 2 weeks because I've just been sweating it off. Holy crap. It also made me realize just how beat up and rickety my body is, and how much I
That
just.
accident didn't help any.
No, the accidents I've been in the last couple of years just haven't helped me any. And it's just like, I'm getting too old and I'm too beat up to be throwing freight. Um, so I'm trying to get off a graveyard, but just like I got a job offer the other day from another equally evil corporation, except this one's a debt collector. Um, and it's a nice cushy job. It's a desk job. It's 40 to 50 hours a week. It's full benefits after 6 months. 90% of the time I'm just sitting at a desk answering the phone, seeing if people are making payments, see if people aren't making payments, things like that. And they really do actually want to hire me for some reason. I don't know why, but they want to hire me. The biggest problem to it right now is it's about 175 miles away from where I currently
I was
live.
going to say it's south of Seattle, so I don't know what the hell they'd be thinking of you. Why they'd be thinking you could do that. You'd have to move there.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. They're like, you know what? You get over, and it's an open job offer. It's like if when or if I get over there, I have pretty much a job, and it's like, especially at a starting wage of $12 an hour. That's a good bit over minimum wage in Washington, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
that's almost 500 a week.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like, oh my god, that's easily 2 grand a month. It's easily 2 grand a month. It's a nice cushy desk job. It's like, oh god, I have reached that age. I have reached that age where I want a desk job. I don't want to be throwing freight or anything like that. And it's not because some of it is mental, but a lot of it does come down to just like how beat up my body is already, and I'm working on fixing a lot of those problems and this and that, but a lot of the damage that's been done to my body sits there and says, "Okay, dude, you are too messed up to be doing throwing freight." And it's like, oh god. So I'm really tempted by that job. So I'm I'm trying to do what I can with what I got to maybe get the money together to move over to that area. That's easily I need 6 grand in pocket. easily $6,000 in pocket to live in that area.
Oh yeah, it's very expensive out there.
Yeah. But going back to the point I made before about stupid things in my immediate area. Okay, so this is where I get to go off in a tangent. And he's already seen some of it. So if you've been on my Twitter, if you have me like at my personal Facebook page, not my public Facebook page, but my personal one, you've seen some of the shit I've said. But and I don't make bones about, you know, I live in Wenatchee, Washington. It is a cesspool. It is Satan's butthole, is the nicest way to put that. It is almost hell on earth without being Detroit.
And, it's
And
Detroit's Pacific Northwest neighbor.
pretty much. And you can tell by the decay of the city. But but in 4 years ago, Washington State made pot legal to own, legal to buy, legal to sell, legal to grow. Those last two, you do have to have permits if you are going into an industrial or commercial grade. But it made it legal in Washington State, and even with my points of contention about how the mindset that propagated it to push it to compete with Colorado and others and a couple other states that were possibly legalizing it or did legalize it, I support the pot industry. Now, mind you, I say this and I have a deathly allergy to pot. I am deadly allergic to pot. It will kill me. But I still support the industry because of the uses beyond just smoking it that hemp and pot has world round. I mean, from, you know, processing it to make clothes to floorboards to all sorts of stuff. You know, pot has a lot of uses besides just smoking it, and that is part of why I support the industry, because it has so many other uses besides smoking. Yes, there is the medicinal and, you know, luxury of smoking it and relaxing and this and that, da da da. But that's secondary to why I support the industry. And Wenatchee, specifically Chelan County, the county in which Wenatchee sits in, that the home base of operations for the entire fucking county is in Wenatchee, and its commissioners passed an ordinance the other day that outlawed that for the long and the short of it, basically outlawed pot growing, because most of the larger farms were and are stationed outside of city limits, or out in the county, out in the, you know, farmlands, away from the major city, you know, because it was like, okay, yes, we know, you know, just like any other farm, it's going to create noise, there's going to be smells, there's going to be, you know, machinery, there's going to be lights and all sorts of stuff, you know, a good part of the year round that would be a natural nuisance. The ordinance they passed literally has put them under the 8 ball to reconfigure their entire operations to be able to fit inside city limits, inside the industrial industry of city limits, inside a warehouse, inside warehouses inside the city limits, or 60 days to shut down at and any day they continue to operate past the 60 days at something like $1,000 day fine. And it's like, looking at the numbers, because I know several of the growers, many of them are farmers and orchardists who converted their farmland of 10 acres or less to something that is viable, because China, Peru, Chile has utterly destroyed the apple industry in the area, has destroyed the pear industry, has destroyed the logging, the mining. A lot of those industries that were in this local area were destroyed because of outsourcing or the direct competition of China, Peru, Chile, and the like. So they saw a marketable. I want to say agricultural, but it's a weird gray territory by the law, because it's growing, it's farming, it's tending to, but it's not deemed agriculture, which is fucking weird. But all right, whatever. Of pot, and it just really is. How fucking stupid are they? It last year alone, there was somewhere in the neighborhood of $3.5 million generated. $3.5 million between basically 8 farms that were under 10 acres in size. $3.5 million. That is substantial money. That is substantial money.
Oh, yeah.
And it blows my mind to sit there and go, it's like, okay, so obviously they don't care about the money. What is it they care about? The stance they took to create this ordinance basically outlawing growing of pot was based on moralistic grounds. That they were taking a moral high road. And it's just like, oh my dear sweet Lucifer. They got moralistic. Now, mind you, a mile away, on the other side of the Columbia River, Douglas County, East Wenatchee, the conservative Republican stronghold of Washington State, the deep red, just backwoods area, they have not a goddamn problem with pot. Because their attitude, because for being the Republican and conservative stronghold for Washington State, their general attitude has been, does it scare the chickens, cows, or any of the livestock? No. Okay. Is it going to terribly upset normal farming rotation? No. Okay. Is it going to be able to provide money through, lean winters and good and lean winters, to be able to keep providing food on the table, keep the bills paid and everything? It will provide all that? Okay. What's the problem? That is literally their mindset to the whole matter. That they haven't exactly embraced pot with open arms, but the farms and the industries that have set up shop to grow pot in a mile on the other side of the river, whereas and I'm going to hammer this point, deeply conservative Republican are sitting there going, what's the problem? It's going to make us money. While the more liberal and progressive side of the river is sitting there going, oh, it's bad. We're going moralistic. It's not good for anyone. And you just have to sit there, and my face nearly collided with my desk because I did not face palm. I almost face desk, but I know what my body's natural reaction to that was to face fault. And anyone who doesn't get that joke, you need to watch more anime from the 90s. And it's like, how can you not, like, when you are a very progressive, very liberal, very, commercialized area, how can you not like money?
Apparently there's a way.
There really is. I am shocked and amazed and certainly appalled by their decision, especially since it's now going to put easily 1,000 workers out of jobs. 1,000 workers are about to be out of jobs. People who have had farms for a couple generations in the areas are about to lose everything, or potentially lose everything, and all because of morals. And and if you even approach them and ask them, like, okay, what's the morals here? Oh, well, it generates noise, and it's like, it's no real different than normal farming. What's the problem here? Oh, well, it's literally their excuses and their generalized debate about the matter is shaky territory, but it comes down to moralistic integrity. Yeah, and I just sit here and flash back to the '90s where they allowed a cop to go around with a small child who pointed out houses and go, oh, that person touched me, that person that touched me, that person that touched me, and caused a national scandal called the Wenatchee sex ring scandal. You can Google it and it still pops up. Yet somehow they are trying to take the moralistic high ground against pot. Right.
People like it and they don't like that.
And see, and here's the thing: is that is the thing right there. Is people like it? It generates revenue, taxable revenue, a heaping amount of taxable revenue. Because at this point, the local event center, the town Toyota Center, in the past year took a sizable chunk out of the debt it created. Because of the pot farm's taxable income and whatnot. And I'm just like, oh my dear God, you guys are really retarded. I don't say that nicely, but they are really retarded. Because holy shit. Yeah, so do you have any quick thoughts on that while I pick up my vape pen because I dropped it like a dumbass?
I heard something drop. I wasn't sure what it was. I don't remember if it was you or your mom or somebody had posted a few stories about that yesterday, and every single one of them I read, it's like, okay. I mean, I've heard you talk about not being out there and not being in a state that's woken up to the fact that it can still be a good idea yet. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's news about my state, too, that's not all that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that there are more stories like that around Washington, given how Washington is.
Well, and that's kind of a curious thing is I've been kind of, just because when this whole brouhaha started, is I've been kind of keeping my eyeballs and ears out, and there's nothing to such a severity as what Chelan County is doing. There's nothing to such a severity. There are notes of larger operations being shut down because they didn't have the right permits. There are notes of smaller operations being shut down because they were zoned improperly. There is reconfiguring some zones to make sure that they stay outside of certain city limits or certain areas, but nothing that is a blanket ban and shutdown.
Can they move to East Wenatchee?
You are talking. Okay, moving to the other side of the river is a multi-million-dollar effort.
I know it is, but is the possibility there?
Just for a single, I'm not going to name names, but a friend of mine whose family owns a 5-parcel, 5-acre lot, or piece of property that they were using for growing operations. It would cost them to move their whole operation, sell the land that has been in their family for a couple generations. It would cost them over $2.5 million.
I know. What the reason I'm asking is, does Grant County have something similar?
You're thinking about Douglas County.
Or whatever the hell its name is.
No, I already said Douglas County has pretty much is it making us money? Is it going to scare the chickens? No. And it's making us money? Okay, go right ahead. But the problem to that is you're just thinking of, you can't just pick up an operation like that and move it.
No, I know you can't. I'm just wondering if there is still, if it were possible, if they still wanted to continue the operation, how far would they have to go, basically?
Okay. If we're just talking in pure mileage from where their farm is at to where a possible farm that they could set up shop on if they own the land, it would easily be 30 miles. to move a whole farming operation 30 miles. That's millions of dollars, and that's not really functional. Go ahead.
No, I think I just saw your friend post again.
Probably. But it's and that's just for a 5-acre piece of farmland. That's not even talking about the 10, the 20, the 30, the 40-acre setups that have popped up. The bigger the operation, the more money it costs to move, and all of their money has been tied into the operating and setting things up and getting it going. Because the permits alone were not cheap. We're not even remotely
Well, no,
cheap.
of course they aren't.
And then because of how pot is still recognized on a federal level as a narcotic, they can't deal with the banks. And there's actually a really good episode of A Lethal Weapon that talks about something like this. Is they can't directly deal with a bank when it comes to business for their farming operation, because banks have federal, the feds have the hands in their bank, and because pot is still illegal on a federal level, they can't. There has to be a middleman to essentially launder the money legally for the grow operations to the bank and from the bank, and that's created another set of problems. So everything has been in cash, has been moved between this third party to the bank, from the bank to the third party back to them, but there cannot be any direct transaction between them and the bank.
Yeah.
So many of the farms have already opened up class action lawsuits and all sorts of appeals to the matter. So I will be keeping an eyeball out for that, because honestly, this is one of those situations where, while yes, I do not use pot, I can't use pot, but I see the benefits of it, both on a financial level, on a resource level, and on a livelihood level. And what Chelan County has done is quite literally fucking appalling. And I have no problems calling out the commissioners of Chelan County for this outrageous bullshit. Because it blows my mind. I wish it blew me, but it blows my mind. So, whatever.
I don't think you want something like that blowing you. You'd get something.
Hey, you know what? If they all lined up like seals and were clapping their hands, you know what? I think it'd be entertaining. Now that we've gotten into the dick and terrible jokes and moved back past that.
With what I've been seeing almost looping lately, yeah, I'm right at home with dick jokes.
Hey, I don't judge. Okay, yeah, I do judge. What am I saying?
Five dick-shaped things.
5 dick-shaped things. We love you, Alkali. Oh, yeah, that reminds me real quick. It is August 23rd, 2017, and I'm going to take this moment to say happy birthday to Alkali Bismuth, a.k.a. the Ferret King of Furs Squared, the chairman, and the man who for some reason keeps giving us random shout-outs. What the hell, man?
Is it his birthday today?
It really is. It is his birthday today. It is actually.
Where'd you learn that from?
When Xander posted it all over Twitter today. I saw it this morning. I was like, oh, happy birthday.
And as I scroll up on their Telegram, there it is. I've been off and on that fucking thing for hours.
But yeah, no.
And I haven't seen it until Urza just posted it like half an hour ago. It's like, what?
Now, if I had some more RAM, or if I had the money right now to clean up my computer a little bit more, I would transition to the lovely image Xander put up of Alkali in his birthday ferret form. But sorry, that's I will just link to it. So you know what? Happy birthday, Alkali! And
Send me a link. Send it to me, and we'll use it as show art.
There we go. And so yeah, so I kind of wanted to throw that out there because for some reason he keeps mentioning us, and I think that's the only reason why I keep getting hits on my YouTube page. I think that's the only reason why, because oh god, I've been getting banned by people on the right and the left on Twitter, so it must be the furries that love me still. I don't know why. You fuzzy
I don't think they know why either, but okay, whatever works.
But yeah, so it's just kind of a side note in there, you know, happy birthday, Alkali, you cheeky ferret bastard. Maybe one day he'll evolve into an otter, and he will be self-lubricating.
That could have benefits.
Oh, as another little quick side note, I'm going to throw a little shout out to DJ Ear real quick, who is going to be going through, from what I understand, Sonic the Hedgehog Hell this weekend. From a follower of Great Lord Cthulhu and Zinch, good luck, sir. And may the Chaos Emeralds not butt fuck you too horribly. I don't know exactly what he's doing this weekend, but he was complaining / talking / cheering about it on Twitter. So DJ Ear, have fun, I guess, and don't get raped by a Chaos Emerald. I don't know. So there's our furry shout-outs for the week. Now I can move on.
Keep in mind, it's from the non-furry person of all things.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. It's like the dude who's not a furry is throwing these shout-outs to the furries. I think it's a little bit fair to throw some shout-outs to them, since they seem to throw shout-outs to us. So it's like, all right, what the hell? You know, return the favor. Get the circle jerk going. Oh, God. That leads me to an anecdote. So, I was working. This is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Right.
Oh, it's D&D night with the guys.
Yes, it is, and I will probably be up because my fucking raid group just changed starting time from 6 p.m. Pacific to 7 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, fun. Anyways.
Yeah, and they are chronically late, which means we might not even start raiding until 10 p.m. my time.
Oh, joy.
AKA, I'm probably done with raiding for quite a while because I'm not having good luck sleeping, and this is not going to help.
And anecdote. So, because I was trying to remember what day of the week it was. It was Sunday night into. No, sorry, Monday into Tuesday. No, it was Sunday into Monday. The problem with working graveyard is your days get kind of weird. So Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on your view, the evil corporation I work for is selling mascot heads. Legitimate mascot heads.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Anyways, so my boss was walking around with one of these mascot heads on, and I literally turned around and saw him. I don't know why he was wearing it, but he was wearing it walking down one of the main aisleways. And I'm like, hey, I'm glad you have accepted your furriness. You have come out, and you are proud to show it and whatnot. And he just kind of stopped, took the head off, and went, "You are a sick bastard." I'm like, hey, you're the one walking around with the head. He's like, that's just not right. It's like, hey, I don't judge. Just because you're a furry.
No, you just make fun.
I don't judge. And then he shot back beautifully. He's like, you know what? Go yiff in hell. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, wait.
I like him.
He shot back. I'm like, you know the word. He's like, I know a lot of things. Like, oh, what do you know? He's like, get back to work. I'm like, oh, so I may have exposed my boss's some darker habits. Oh my. So yeah, I am not apologetic.
So that just means that he said "yif in hell" because he will be there to make sure it happens.
Yeah, okay. But it's just like, oh my god.
What's that thing called? I mean, I shouldn't even put it in here because now I'm going to have to go through and edit this crap.
Anyways, and then let's see here. The last couple weeks, it's been kind of like there's been a little bit of stuff going on, and then not a lot of stuff going on, gamer-wise. And Gamescom is going on right now, but that's a whole nother show to talk about stuff that came out today. Holy crap!
I didn't realize that stuff did come up.
Oh my god! Today was the Blizzard portion of Gamescom.
Yeah, and apparently on the 29th they're dropping Argus already.
Yep, that's one of the big things. And so that's a whole nother show that I'm gonna work on and probably do that before. Try to get that posted either tonight or tomorrow before I go to work. But then there's been other things in the news recently. There's been other things that have just been kind of disheartening. Kind of just like, what the fuck is wrong with the world? And you were actually posting something about a fountain today.
Oh, I went to a vigil for
Charlottesville, yeah.
Yeah, and they had that at over by a fountain at the college here in Mankato. Yeah. So it's actually, I didn't know it was there. It's actually a very nice fountain. So
yeah. But what do I know? And then the final note for the show today. After we've stumbled through this and went to some weird, edgy fucking territory. We've gone full edgelord here. We got neon pink mohawks. I think my nipples are pierced, and I'm pretty sure he's got a 12-inch Bad Dragon toy sitting between his legs. Anyways, so, in our last little bit here as we wrap this up, I really do love Neil deGrasse Tyson because he just makes me happy. Because on Monday there was the solar eclipse, the path to totality, which started somewhere around Madras, Oregon, and went down to like Virginia or something like that, cutting across the U.S. was a perfect path to totality. And then there was outlying areas that had, varying levels of darkness in the skies. My area got pretty dim and got really nice and cool because, oh my god, it was so nice at 60 degrees in the middle of summer. It was like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, it was pretty cool out here, too.
It literally dropped. It dropped from 90 to 60 degrees in minutes. I was like, yeah. It made me happy. But there was the solar eclipse, and everyone was talking about it. If you don't know about the solar eclipse at this point, holy crap, you are hiding in a cave under a rock further than I could ever achieve in my life, you magnificent bastard. Like seriously, if someone could actually hide under a rock in a hole at the bottom of a log, I'm not going to start that joke. But if someone could actually hide away that well, better than you, and that is better than you and me combined into a hermit-like creature of hiding from the world, you have to give them mad props. So, if you don't know about the eclipse, well, okay, you live deep under a rock, and I don't know why you're listening to us, but hey, with strange creatures, strange habits. And I laugh is because Neil deGrasse Tyson hopped on Twitter. You just can't help but wonder if Neil deGrasse Tyson is the kind of man that will look at a small child and go, Santa doesn't exist. Because he pointed out that there's a solar eclipse every about 2 years. There's a solar eclipse every about 2 or 3 years somewhere on the planet. And I actually got into a debate about this. There was a solar eclipse recently in my lifetime in this area in the 90s that people seem to forget about for some reason. There's also been quite a few lunar eclipses, but there's been a solar eclipse in my lifetime in this area. But people are like, oh, there was no solar eclipse. Yes, there was. Chill your briskets, sit down. And it got into a weird, like, how out of control people were like, oh my god, the eclipse is coming! Situation. Because that is, for like the 2 days leading, hell, even the couple of hours leading up to the eclipse, people were just losing their minds, going, oh my god, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, we'll never see it again, oh my god. And I'm like, oh my god, no, shut up, you're being
somebody that NASA interviewed said that it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So, and she's like, well, there's going to be one coming up. And he's like, for me. Now, I could see this. For him, he thought it was because, let's be honest, there are going to be a lot of those eclipses you're probably going to be working inside for.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, is the next solar eclipse is like in 2022. Literally, they've already
there's one in 2024 that will be crossing.
Yeah.
Is the one that's crossing America. It's going to be up over by coming through Texas and going up through New England.
Yes, and see, they aren't that rare. They aren't a once-in-a-lifetime thing. They may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for it to have crossed America like that, to have such a path of fatality.
And it might be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for people seeing it where they did. Like, if I would have seen it, it would have been partial.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and
maybe he's right. Maybe he will only see a full eclipse once in his life. But
yeah,
there's a difference between. They don't put the addendum on there. They just say,
once in a lifetime.
Eclipse was. Yeah. It's like,
and that's the thing. It's like they aren't that rare. There's multiple that happen every decade. I mean, multiple every decade. It just, they aren't always in America, or they aren't always, to such an extent cutting across America. And that's something I will give note to, is the extensive path it cut across America. That was impressive. But people were just losing their minds. Like, holy crap. It's like, no, there's multiple solar eclipses all the fucking time, folks. Chill your horses.
People don't like science, though.
Well, and that brought up another funny point, is like, people completely believe scientists absolutely whatsoever. And, this eclipse is going to happen, and the next one's going to be in like 2024, as you said. And yet when it comes to issues like, global warming and things like that, or the Earth being round, that they have issues believing science. Like, what? And then I had to stop and think about that for a minute. It's like, wait, I know how this works. I know how these people work now. If they can't see it with their own eyes, they literally, they are cats. They are cats in human form. If they can't see it, they don't believe it. Also, mind you, some of these people are very heavily Christian. So that kind of goes into a weird territory of cognitive dissonance I don't want to talk about, or religion I don't want to talk about. But just like, what? What? Really? Okay, fine. Have your fun. But yeah, I did love like all the jabs and pokes at the flat earthers that were just fucking going out there. It's like, oh my god, people were just roasting them. But I enjoyed the eclipse. I stayed awake. I stayed awake to watch it. It got dark and dim around here, but nothing too serious, nothing too out of control. But I enjoyed it. It was real good fun. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to double check something. But no, it was real good fun, and I enjoyed it immensely. And I enjoyed it actually getting nice and cool in this desert region for a while in the middle of the day. It was so nice. But I am kind of worried, because there was a lot of people who were taking advantage of it in some of the scummiest ways, like Dutch Brothers. Dutch Brothers put a recall out Yeah, Dutch Brothers put a recall out. There's words you don't hear often referring to a coffee stand. But I guess it was a nationwide thing. Is Dutch Brothers were selling or giving away Eclipse glasses, and the ones that they were sold and marketed into buying and distributing to their customers were not the ISO 2120 -2 protective type, and so they had to actually do a recall hours before the eclipse. Like, oh my god, that sucks so badly. But it was just kind of weird to see people work themselves into this just feverish state over an eclipse. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it was it kind of took me back to the '90s with Furbies and Beanie Babies and even Cabbage Patch Kids. Just except it wasn't Christmas and it wasn't a toy. It's like, what the fuck? Really? It's like, why? I mean, yeah, okay, cool. There were people who were driving hours and hours and hours, taking time off from work. They estimated it was $690 million of productivity lost for like the 20 minutes of the eclipse nationwide. It's like, wow, okay, what the fuck, people, really? It just kind of it blew my mind. It blew my mind. At just how into a just feverish swelter of insanity people got for 5 minutes, and then they went back to their jobs or talking. It's like, what? Do you guys not realize what you've just done is utterly insane? And this is coming from a guy who is of a mental capacity to be equivalent of a follower of Cthulhu. Really? You don't see what's wrong here. Okay then.
Makes you worried when you're the sane one, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. It makes me. It terrifies me. It legitimately fucking terrifies me when I am the voice of reason and logic and rationality. It kind of makes me wonder, how far did the Earth tilt on its axis, and is this the apocalypse? Because it's not the apocalypse, it has to be the apocalypse. Because it's pure insanity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap this up and go about our merry lives? Oh,
no, I think I need to take a nap.
Yeah, you need to take a nap. I've been up since like midnight. I should probably take a nap myself. So I have to work tomorrow. But anyways, so for this very weird, all over the place, going into things that probably shouldn't be touched, but we are, we are the monkey going, please sir, no touchy the puppy. I'm Chaos. He's Rendal, and this is not Jackass. I don't know what the fuck this is anymore. I think this is Chaotic Ravings. Yeah, this is Chaotic Ravings.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a Chaotic Ravings because we tend to hold the geek shit for finite exposure still. What? Oh, that's what that was. Memo to self. Don't check my Hotmail while I'm talking with you on Skype. Anyways,
that's always a good idea, yes.
Anyways, you know what? I hope everyone has a good day, has a good week, and I really do. I really do hope everyone has a good weekend. We will talk to you all later.
Yep. See you later.